Editor, Los Angeles Times. I am an old, stroked out, 100% disabled mass murderer. Yet my total time behind bars is 9 days. I drag my feet the best I can in my inexorable slide toward, quote, the hell prepared for the devil and his angels, close quote. So why, you might ask, fairly, do I bother you with my gruesome tales? Humor me for a few moments and find out. I'm also a retired dairy farmer / goat herder, of little note nor long to be remembered. Kindly know that I vociferously opposed the return of Indochina to colonial occupation after World War II. Then the passage of the Gulf of Tonkin Resolution in 1965 transformed my future. President Lyndon Johnson ordered U.S. Army and Marine Corps combat units to South Vietnam. I was young and in good health. When the United States went to war, it was my patriotic duty to volunteer. So on August 27, 1965, I freely offered up my life and my eternal soul by joining the United States Army as a volunteer. The National Security Agency picked me up as a counterintelligence agent trainee immediately after I completed boot camp at Fort Ord. I was trained to protect cryptographic equipment, codes, and cryptographic code operators. On August 29, 1966, I flew to Quy Nhon, South Vietnam. I began serving 3 extraordinarily violent combat tours in South Vietnam. I volunteered for all 3 tours of duty. Days after I arrived in Vietnam, I was appointed as the National Security Agency Deputy Chief of Station for the central 40,000 square miles of South Vietnam. My principal responsibility was to conduct and to direct surveillance of any potential threats to the safety of our cryptographic equipment, codes, and cryptographers. It was also my job to evaluate and eliminate all such threats within 1 and 2 tactical zones of South Vietnam. As recounted by Arthur Belmont Osborne III, quote, virtually every day of the approximately 485 days that I served as Mr. Santos' chief personal bodyguard, we flew to and from 47 communication centers in central South Vietnam. I also rode through hell with Santos. I was also a member of Santos' 45-man Quick Reaction Force, which flew and/or rode into places where sensible soldiers had fled from. On countless helicopter flights, we minimized enemy fire by flying just above the ground. We flew together a minimum of 1,054 flight missions in our 16 months, where Santos was delivering codes. On trips when Santos was delivering codes, Santos wore a thermite suicide vest. Santos also carried high explosives when we traveled with cryptographic KW-35 machines. I rode, sat, flew, and fought next to him. So how could that be a problem? Close quote. Well, for me, the problem starts with the fact that my job was to evaluate and eliminate threats to cryptographic equipment and codes. For 20 months, I utilized strategic B-47 and B-52 bombers to eliminate threats to an average of 47 communication centers across the 40,000 square miles I was responsible for. I utilized tactical bombers also. I used every tool we had. Our bombers carried smart crews but dropped dumb bombs. On behalf of my fellow Americans, I murdered thousands of Vietnamese men, women, and children. I have my chains to drag through life and into hell. I have no reason to complain. I will die as a warrior patriot to this terribly imperfect union, the United States of America. I write this letter to plead for timely granting of a Veterans Administration Compensation Award to Sergeant Arthur W. Trangmar. He was my driver and bodyguard for approximately 512 days in Vietnam. If Americans learn nothing else about Trangmar, they should hear of at least one incident before he dies from heart disease and post-traumatic stress disorder. Trangmar volunteered for a suicide mission. We were 8 minutes out from death when Mr. Antuna radioed to my 2 gunships that our cryptographic equipment and Angry 26 mobile communication station had been completely destroyed, so we could return to the 41st Signal Battalion in Quin Yon. When we got back to our base, Trangmar just observed that we just did what we had to do. Trangmar is virtually totally combat disabled. Because he has not been able to be his own advocate, he has never received even one bloody dime from Congress. Our brave and patriotic members of the United States Senate and House of Representatives have given themselves health care and pension benefits while severely trimming the number of people who evaluate service-connected claims. Thank you, members of Congress. I'll see most of you in hell. David Richard Sanis, 100% combat disabled, USA/US Army. Postscript. It only took from October 30, 1996 until May 28, 2010 to evaluate my claim. Postscript. Just visit a VA hospital and observe the state of veterans passing through those doors.